See, what they don't know is that this was my grand plan of diversion. Without all that inspecting going on, pure art is the result. There'll be no check and balance from here on out. You're in the dog days of summer, literally. It's about 100 degrees in here, and I'm just getting warmed up.
Yikes.
Looks like I got myself into another ridiculous project. Like anything goes. You know, my other car, we cut it apart. I'm not married to any of this.
No rules.
No rules.
Whatever.
My friend Johnny and I, we worked out this crazy idea based on his Volkswagen chassis. A fantasy show car. That's how I would describe it. That takes this, and it's like, and I get my roof.
And your porthole.
And the porthole. You know, I got an idea for the back. You know, all we need is shapes.
No hesitation, no pre-planning. He just grabs a saw. This might work.
Chop top camper shit.
Right?
We moved through the mock-up really fast, and the car started to take shape. Holy Krakatoa. Then my friend Tom got involved and brought in this monster engine. This project just got put in the slingshot, and it's drawn and ready to fire. It's time to get freaking crazy on this. Well, there's a new kid in town, wouldn't you say? I thought it was about time to get Shop Inspector some companionship. I got another stray pit rescue. Her name's Angel, and I think she'll be the perfect companion for the inspector. They've been together for one day, and they're like old buddies. Dude's kind of a unique character. You know, he is the shop inspector. Not looking for anything more than a companion, you know. Maybe keep Mr. Face busy for a while I'm working. You saw that temper tantrum he threw with the, dare I say, roll bar? Needs to lighten it up a little. It's a fun shop. No more arguments. Let's just keep it on the level. You know, a little lady action in the room might help things out a little. So this car's progressing. You know, the bodywork, I'm just trucking right through it as I do. I pulled the engine out so I could finish off the back of this body, put in some MDF to stiffen it up a little bit, and blended this one in. So it's all screwed and glued. It's nice and strong. Got through the majority of the bodywork, and now it's on to the details, the aesthetics. Johnny's coming out in a few days to check the progress. There's a few key things that I want to get in place before he gets here. I want to get these side pods in action. Johnny's drawing shows some pretty cool details of these fins along the side. Key design point Johnny came up with was this fin action below the fenders. It's open for interpretation. You know, the main thing for me is to make it flow with the proportions of the car. So the outer face of the wheel width is represented in the thickness of these fins, and then it just tapers down to nothing. So a bunch of big wedge shapes. The biggest challenge in translating the drawing to the vehicle is truth versus fantasy. This car has certain proportions that, with any logic, cannot be altered. This is a mock-up. I'm just trying to get something established to work with. The reason for using these materials is that they're plentiful. I can go to the supply store and get way more. Once it's mocked up, assembled, they get coated in epoxy primer, maybe a little fiberglass on the back to rigidize it. You paint them with automotive paint, and that's the finished product. That panel on the bottom, all of a sudden it's in proportion. So you literally have this big block wedge with the fenders running through it. And now you're looking at this. And then the fender's just kind of jamming through it. That's good. Just setting up this backboard, you know, I'm really happy with the way it gives that lowered appearance to the car. You could almost leave it as is, but I really think I could take it up another notch. I don't know how big these darts are gonna be, so I'm just gonna split this right down the center and fit it up and figure out how many, how big. Now we have this giant shape. I'm gonna go something like that, I think. What did I get myself into? Fortunately, they only come one at a time. If they ever double teamed, I might not make it up. The last thing I needed was another shop inspector. You know, 2 shop inspectors, I'm kind of outnumbered at this point, you know? I'm 6'2", hand of authority, and now It got double teamed on me, so we'll see how this develops. This is pretty much what I was thinking, a series of these going up the line. Yeah, I think we're just gonna have 4 ribs because that's what this is dictating. I've seen this kind of style on some sports cars, 80s Ferraris, some other weird concepts, but I'm going for my own vibe on it. It's like, oh, okay, that makes me think of this, but it's unique. I see some issue here. From here, these are perfectly parallel, but when you're standing up looking at it, they're perfectly unparallel. In the first layout, it looked kind of like Venetian blinds, just lines stacked. I wanted it more like a fan, oriental fan, little flare. I'm trying to find that sweet spot, as with everything. The thing about this is the perspective of the lines has to be measured by how it feels, how the whole car flows. You cannot put a formula on it. Yeah, so that's what I was looking for. You see, that upper one flows with the fender line. Getting these fins primered like the rest of the car would really help to finalize this aspect. I gotta get the thing grayed out, then it all looks the same. My next step is to envision. Thought you were on supply duty. It's your first day here. We're gonna have to run through a couple quick parameters. Primer cabinet is always full. This one is empty. Take note of it, check the serial number. I want a case by tomorrow morning. There is a certain etiquette in this workshop, as loose as it seems. Bottom line is if you want to eat, you gotta work. I really like this, I'm gonna make a couple other enhancements, both to the interior and to the rear end. That's a big issue. Just like with the sides, filled it in, I'm gonna do something in the back, off to the races. The paint cabinet is stocked. She doesn't even have thumbs, yet produced. The last step of envisioning is the primer. Just get the thing one tone, and then it's a yay or a nay. With the white, you don't get the shadow play of this gray tone, so now you could really get a feel for the dimension of this. The white just looks all bleached out. The shadows, everything works together. It's good. I'm totally happy with that design. I'll mimic it for the other side, but there's bigger fish to fry. I'm working on multiple projects. I got all this board kind of fitted in. That's going to be the interior panels with upholstery on it, but I also have a really cool idea for the dashboard. Very little sculpture, all business. We need to enhance. Victor and I did this sports car project, and we used an old Sterling kit car.
The only thing I really want on this thing is this top. You know what, we may use some of the silhouette, but this top, the way it opens, gotta go on the Porsche.
From the jump, that dashboard was dynamite. My challenge is to make this funky 70s vibe fiberglass dashboard fit in that car. This is what we're working with. Vintage Stuart Warner tachometer. These go on this, which is even more awesome. And lastly but not leastly, if you know sound systems from the 70s, Craco. I don't even care if it works, it's going in the car. So look at that. Freaking floating space pods on this awesome wraparound dashboard. The basis of my projects has always been found parts. So this next step is just in that same vein. Victor didn't even look twice at this thing, so you know me. Put it in the back pocket, put it in the semi-permanent collection. He's gonna be surprised when he sees it, because he's gonna be like, oh, I should have used that in another car, but it's gonna be too late. It all depends what you're going for in the end. If you just put in a set of cool gauges or whatever in the stock body, hey, you get that out of it. If you want a freak show, you gotta go the full length. And that's what I need. I need a freak show dashboard. Sitting there, you can see how this is all gonna congeal. It's offering a huge support visually to that tube frame. And then, yeah, with the windshield, the split windshield, we need this. I think everyone will agree it's a nice looking unit, but how are you gonna get it in there? As a great man once said, it just isn't even close to fitting. So, I'm just gonna cut it up. Here we go. I've cut so much stuff apart at this point, you know, you just look right through it. You know, a butcher doesn't need a road map to where he's going, right? He just knows the cuts, gets rid of the excess fat, and makes it happen. It's summertime for sure, so this is the old standby, you know. Not only does it portably cool, it blows the dust that way very efficiently. With any found object, as long as you make the right moves, you can get the right results. So this is exactly where it needs to be. Now, the center comes right to here. There's plenty of room for the shifter and the emergency brake. These two pieces did not go together, and hey, now they work. Just put a couple screws to secure that. That's all gonna get fiberglassed. These are obviously not the right shape, so I'm gonna start with the center pods and then work these out independently. So you can see with a few minor pieces trimmed off, the Sterling dashboard is a perfect fit. Look at that. The success of having these three shapes fit in the car, okay, that's great. What's really gonna sell it is getting it all glassed and molded in so it looks like one piece. You know, all the center detail is retained looking like the Sterling, which is what I was looking for. Once it's all molded in together, it's really gonna sell it, but you know, when the inspectors start responding, you can see there's a little curiosity going on. I think we're on the right track. The thing this concept needed was that final coat of primer to cement the deal. I mean, this is kind of what I saw when I first thought of putting the Sterling dashboard in here. It still needs refinement, but you can see it's now one piece instead of all those separate components, and everything's there. All I gotta do is wire it up. That's the only thing that gets you through a project like this is these small rewards. You know, there are so many tasks to be completed on a custom car as involved as this, you know. Just to get that dashboard and the primer is like a little glimpse of the light at the end of the tunnel. Inspector number one has given full approval and sign off on the dashboard, and now it's time to get to the details on the back end. Well, the engine intake speaks for itself. You know, these giant megaphone style velocity stacks. I want the exhaust to mimic these, so these big horn shapes are definitely gonna be the exhaust. The whole car's gotta flow together. So those trumpets, you know, the air's coming in, where does the air go out? The exhaust. Those two elements should be in the same flavor. All right, there's your custom exhaust setup. Full custom dune buggy needs a full custom exhaust. Just like anything else is gonna be made from scratch, so I ordered a whole pile of parts to get to getting. The challenge therein is to make this tangled pile of tubing and make it look like a beautiful piece of machinery. The way this blower is perched on the engine, you have an open side and a more cramped side. This is the challenge with this exhaust, because you know, the engine's gonna look asymmetrical. There's no way around it. See the pulley and the blower, everything's off to this side of the setup. So that's the challenge of making the exhaust look like it works. We're in the dog days of summer, literally. It's about 100 degrees in here, and I'm just getting warmed up. This is kind of cool. Like, what if they kind of projected from a center point like this? There's 2 and 2 right there, kind of out. For this exhaust build, you know, my main thought is that it has to look balanced. The exhaust has to complement the engine and not take anything away from the fantastic components that it's already presenting. That's what I'm talking about. That's a total cartoon car exhaust. I like the exhausts. I really want to get the taillights in place just to see how the whole thing plays. The official reproduction Mustang taillight lens. Unlike some other people we know, for me, this taillight decision is going to be real easy. Perfect. I don't think this car needs anything any more crazy than one of the old dune buggy standards. You can see, I'm kind of a make a decision and stick it guy. My mind's made up. This thing is totally freaky, funky 70s style. This is exactly right. Johnny's coming out in a couple days. There's a lot more to be done as far as assembly and finish work, but those 2 taillights, those 4 exhaust pipes, that's the look. I need to finish up the exhaust on the other side, but there's one more key component I want to get established before Johnny comes back. Duplicated the exhaust concept on the passenger side, did a bunch of finish welding, and now it's clearly represented. And there'll be some finish work just in, finishing the welds, but that's the look. It came out really cool. Even though the sheet metal megaphones are uncharacteristic at the end, these end caps make it look like the laser gun. It's just a good effect. What it needed was that little center engine, it looked like it was wearing a backpack. And now it's got freaking claws. Looks like it's gonna grab something if it backs up. This simple design was really effective in completing that bulked out rear end. The rear end is fitted out for sure. The one thing that's missing is this windshield. This concept of the floating roof will really be cemented when you see the windshield mounted here and there's nothing attaching. In other words, no A-pillar attachment. First things first is these 3 pieces of authentic brass boat windshield. A lot of the hot rods you see, Model A, T-buckets, that type of thing, they're using like a Halleck or Duval style windshield, and it's basically a 3-pillar window. This Chris Craft boat windshield looks just the same as that. If you just sat it here, it would be fine, but I don't like that. What I like is it for it to sit here, pointing at the roof, so that this is never touching. I think I have to create some kind of a shape at this level, so this thing sits like that. The stage is set for some full custom figuring out. I think they're happy. She's doing the Scooty. See, what they don't know is that this was my grand plan of diversion. Without all that inspecting going on, pure art is the result. There'll be no check and balance from here on out. I'm gonna have to do some modifications to this, so I don't wanna just stack on top of the primer. I wanna get right down to the base material and build off of that. So what I wanna do is take that big sanded out surface, and then I'm gonna sculpt it to look cooler. Right now it's on a shelf, it's like this. It's gonna be a flat plate, it's just a stamp, one shot. This is just establishing the height for the center post to sit. I know a couple tricks that will help me just go through the process efficiently. You set that, and you push it flat. Critical thing is I gotta get the center pillar looking parallel with the roof support. Ha-ha! Is a flat surface. All we were trying to do is just create that flat pad that sits on. That's the height. Process with this is one step at a time. Get your center centered and then figure out what the angle is on one side and then follow through with the other. Really the best way is to eyeball it because you can see clearly, when you're down the line, if they're like that, there's gotta be parallel. You may be asking yourself, how is he possibly gonna get all those things at the same height? Got these epic sanding discs from 3M. I mean, come on, you didn't think I was gonna not customize every last thing. There you have it, 4-foot block sander. Look at that, you sand it. He has that look in his eye. I didn't say it was gonna be professional, but it works. The purpose of mocking up the windshield is just like everything else, a 3-dimensional, full-scale representation of where you're going. The end result of this is still yet open. You can do a traditional clear glass, you can do Lexan, colored glass, colored Lexan, tinted, anything goes. Really happy with the way this windshield progressed. Still some final details, like everything else, but definitely enough to show Johnny, and I got some plans. Making good progress on the car, but as much as I like to stay confined in my own cell, the outside world is always calling. Minding my own business, I get an SOS call from Victor. So is there anything you want to change on this one, or is it okay?
No, this is it.
Okay.
This one's done.
No more enhancements?
Never. Ian, I know I said at cruise night I wasn't gonna change anything, but I got a little bored, so I figure, hey, it's time to just touch it up, right?
The thing is, that's all it takes with Victor. It's just like one little glimmer of, oh, yeah, that's right, we haven't changed this car up in a while. The good news is, I never finished the front grille. You went ahead and powder coated all the parts and painted the car. There was one other thing I wanted to build on it, and I never got to finish this front end. It was like 15 years ago. As much as it pains me to say, this car was like almost 20 years ago when I met Victor.
This was a 4-door, and Windshield made it into a 2-door, and I had it sitting for years in my backyard. Then I met you, and you started on my hood. Remember, I brought you to do the hood, the front bumper, the back bumper, so the car is iconic.
One really cool thing about this car is that not only did it come from Winfield's shop as one of his projects, but it's also the first car that Victor and I ever collaborated on. When I met Victor, he didn't know what he wanted, so we ended up using parts from like 5 different cars. If you look at the center grille teeth, they're actually castings off of a '53 Ford pickup. There's Cadillac parts in the bumper, there's Buick parts, there's a little Ford in there, it's all mixed up. This collaboration was like Victor. He was the fish on the line. I hooked him with this project, and so it went. Here we are, 20 years later. I know Victor's mode, but it's always a surprise when he just goes for it. I mean, he doesn't really have to go for it as hard as he does.
This has been a good car. I just want to clean it up, restore it back to show quality. It wasn't show quality, it was cruising quality, but I need a cruising show quality car. Your chance to finish up what you were going to do 15 years ago with the front bumper.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's made out of a lot of parts. First thing I would say I would like it to represent is sort of like the 50 or 51 Chevy, where it has that cool overrider above the grille set. This will be like a little pan that just brings it all together. So Victor was saying, I'm not really changing anything, I'm just freshening it up, New upholstery, new drivetrain, fresh new paint. Basically the same car, just betterer.
And I love it because it's my daily driver. This was the funnest car that I own.
The whole thing about this project is just to get it back in action. Victor's got a team of body guys, upholstery, the whole team's here. For me, it's just a matter of seeing the car back assembled and down the road. It's always nice to have a diversion. I got multiple projects going on. Johnny's on his way into town. I got to get to it. Picked up Johnny at the airport, and we are straight on our way to the Pomona swap meet. We're just about, not to the finish line of this project, but we're getting close. Not only does the swap meet have parts, it has cars, a full car show, so it is full sensory overload. Keep your eyes peeled. I want you alert, focused, ready to make a deal.
Sweet. Nothing's better than you get back into town and immediately Ian's like, dude, let's go to Pomona. It's like the mecca for finding like really good parts for different stuff. Like if you got a project that you're building, like Pomona's the place you want to go.
Still a few elements to flesh out on the car, so it is like a part search as well as inspiration day, The whole thing is just keep an open mind. We never know what we're gonna come up on. Look at this vent.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wait a second, that's paint work. That's not, tell me you didn't think that was a true custom body scoop.
That look real?
Like I did the little vents on the back of the Johnny 5, they just took it to the next level. I mean, I was ready to put my finger in there and see how it was made. It's really good.
Yeah, it totally looked 3-dimensional.
Yeah. So I mean, an element like that on our little speed buggy,
for sure,
be pretty trippy.
And Ian's like, let's see if we can find some cool stuff for the project. Anything goes.
Those are some sand front tires. I like that look. Yeah, check these out, dude. I mean, that's the race car look for sure. And look how low the front end could be with those little fronts. Johnny's always drawing the cartoon proportions, so to get a tire as big as his drawings show, it's a challenge, So we come up on these drag racing slicks. They definitely got a cool look to them. Maybe, maybe not. So here's some big fatties. I mean, those are paddles. That's for the sand, but they might have something else. The great thing about being immersed in this massive swap meet is you have tons of different things to compare. Like this size here, look at this one. $35. not really the flavor.
They look good. I just wish those back ones were bigger.
When it comes to tire size, you know, wider, taller, anything that just makes it look more cartoony.
Yeah, there's some fatter tires. I mean, that'd be some pretty good meats right there.
But then that style is almost like what we have. Oh man. Walking through, I come upon this wider style of sort of the same turbine rim, and they're much bigger.
I bought them for a VW kit car, but they don't make the adapter for that wheel.
Oh.
So
Is that doable?
I ain't scared.
That's what we need right there.
Yeah, pretty much.
Here, hold it. Take
Yeah.
ownership.
Well, it's like, yeah, give the guy the puppy, right?
Yeah.
Falls in love with it. Yo, they are 15 by 10, says right on it. This is a step in the cartoon direction. So
Pay that guy.
awesome. This is kind of ideal scenario. The guy's saying, I absolutely can't use them, and I know I can modify to make them fit.
Ian's the master of the deal. They were a larger size, like turbine look that we already kind of have on the car. I think it's gonna look even better.
Off the plane for 5 minutes, it already cost me $50. Let's go stash these in the truck and get back to shopping. Another thing I need is a new hat, so there's usually a regular person here.
Like everyone's got one.
I know, everybody's got one. Somebody's selling them for sure.
So I just walk up to him and go, Ian? Oh, wait, you're not Ian. You're not Ian. One of the coolest parts of being here at Pomona is, people recognizing Ian from the show, which is really cool. And just seeing him interact with the people who really are excited about what he does. And everybody was really encouraging. Hey man, we can't wait to see what you're building next.
Oh, look at this high roof. Look at that thing. That's the
Yes.
real toaster.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the full loaf of bread. Walking around the car show, there are tons of different cars here, and hopefully you can get some inspiration for the paint.
We're walking down, there's a line of 64 Impala, Fleetwoods, long Cadillacs, old cars, 40s cars, the Mexican bombs that were just chrome for days, and just, you can only imagine how much they cost to get them to the point that they are. Like one after the other, just really well done paint job cars.
I think we're entering the lowrider section. Lowriders are a great paint inspiration because that's one of their primary features is the bodywork guys and the painters just show off their stuff. Dude, so this guy's got all the action going on. I mean, look at the weird tape lines and the fades and everything like that. The main thing about these paint jobs, from my standpoint, is when somebody looks at it, they go, that is an incredible amount of work. You can really see the labor of love that this project has been. That's the whole deal with this. It's like we're not making a lowrider paint scheme, but we're definitely using metal flake and some taped lines or whatever. What I'm looking for specifically is the one thing I hadn't considered. You're always looking for that one unique aspect. The thing I'm responding to is like the simple tape lines, the readable, predictable ones can grow into a really elaborate paint scheme. That's classy.
Hell yeah, man.
Look at the hard root beer to yellow fade. I mean, just a two-tone, blue and white.
Yeah, see, dude,
turquoise and white.
that works.
Yeah. We're definitely not looking to make this buggy painted like a lowrider. I think the thing about these cars is a lot of them have relatively stock bodies, so the elaborate paint job takes them over the top. We're working with kind of the opposite aspect. Our body is totally customized, so to add a really wild, multi-dimensional paint scheme may take away from that. We got some new parts, we got a bunch of ideas. Let's get back to the shop and make it happen. This is where we're at, man.
Nice.
It's a little bit different than it was last time.
Wow, man. It's unbelievable. I walk in, and man, it looks really, really cool. Dude, look at the dash.
That's that Sterling dashboard from the other supercar that Victor and I worked at.
And this is so sick.
Yeah, we didn't discuss that, that's right.
Last time I was here, everything was pretty much attached with sheet metal screws or drywall stuff, and we were just kind of tacking things together and announce a full solid body. It came out better than I thought it was gonna come out. I can't stop looking at this part.
I got the engine from this guy, Tom. He saw the car, he saw some pictures and fell in love with it. I don't know what the deal is yet. He may be a potential buyer for it. When Tom came down and saw the car, he brought the engine. He's talking about a trade or buying the car. He's only become progressively more fascinated with the project. He shows up with this Cobra gas.
Oh, sick.
This is a flower pot. It's a plastic flower pot.
Yeah.
Look at it, right? I just put a wood board inside it and cut off the back.
I love it.
All the pieces are here, you know. Our mission is to nail this paint scheme. I'll mount up these tires and then, you know, the sky's the limit, dude. Just as crazy as these components are, paint job's gotta be that big and better. I'm gonna let Johnny ruminate on his paint idea for a while. I've got an idea for these rims. I wanna try it out before we mount the tires. I got this cool media blaster from Eastwood. I've been using it on everything. I got walnut shells in one side and then sand in the other. These rims are way cool, but I have an idea. I don't want to make them look like fully polished, way too shiny. And I think if I just give the misting of the surface, these rims are going to look frosted, and then I can detail out the highlights. So it's like you got your satin, and then as soon as the shine comes around, you start to get your blips.
Yep. Yeah, I like that.
So, any thoughts on that? Any thoughts on that paint scheme? It's been 5 minutes. I figured you have it worked out.
Yeah, no.
On the way to the shop, we picked up these new rear tires. They're 295 60-15s. It's got a 12-inch wide tread and about a 28-inch tall diameter. They're gonna be way cooler on this car. I can't wait to see what they look like. Before we can get these rims on the car, I gotta set up some wheel adapters. I have a pair, and I think I can do something to make them work. 5.5. Pop right back in. Aha! Yeah. Look at that. Look at from the back. Look at the two side to side. The way the exhaust plays on this tire is way better.
That makes that fender make sense.
Yeah. This was a total relief because with the engine and exhaust developing, you know, these tires make the rear view complete. So, it's been 8 minutes. Any thoughts on that paint job yet? I like the fact that Johnny's a little nervous. You know, I like pushing his buttons, keeps him on the edge, keeps him creative. So, you know, we're into the paint design of this and, you know, it's got to count.
Yeah, so as I'm looking around the car, it started worrying me a little bit. You know, can I come up with something that's gonna work? Yeah.
Johnny's feeling a little uneasy, but I'm confident. Everything's in place. All the elements are here. You got some great ideas. You're throwing down some great ideas. Let me get this thing into primer like right now, and tomorrow we are ready to rock. We'll start designing it.
Okay.
At this stage of the game, I'm feeling energized. You know, it was a big hurdle to jump to just get to this point. I mean, I've got a lot of ideas. I'm looking forward to see what Johnny comes up with. I got another coat of primer on the car, and it's ready to lay out the paint scheme.
What I'm seeing is every time I try to do something different from the old drawing, it just doesn't.
There's something magic about that simple two-tone.
Yeah.
You know, with this fading and everything, you don't want to draw too many lines on the car, I don't think. Like, look at the VW bus.
Right.
It's perfect.
Simple.
And the thing is about these cartoon hot rods, you know, we designed the Johnny 5 together, we're designing this together, so, you know, they could be pals in a universe somewhere else. They would be hanging out together for sure. Strangely enough, the exhaust sort of feels like that. The side panels sort of feel like that. Now we got the giant tire. Maybe we just make it look like you're drawing instead of trying to come up with something crazy.
Right.
You know, I'm kind of sticking up for Johnny's initial inspired paint scheme. You know, maybe we don't need to go so wild. The thing about his first idea is that it doesn't translate so well to the true body shapes. I mean, just first thoughts. I love this white panel coming to the little spear right here.
Right.
So what if the white followed through and it came around and then kind of hooked up? It doesn't need to follow this line, but it came up and you had two jutting spears like that.
Ian like immediately starts seeing a lot of lines that I wasn't really totally seeing, and he starts laying some pinstripe tape down, and immediately these really cool spear shapes started showing up. I just think that's his thought process. There's never not a way we can do this. Less is more.
And we're coloring outside the lines, which
sure.
you get extra points for. It's like body line? No, we're just gonna
No.
mash
We're
them.
making our own line.
In a panel paint job, you typically follow the body lines, but the exciting part about what we're doing is we're coloring outside the lines. You know, we're trying to hyper exaggerate some of the features on the body. Well, this is the line. If you were a panel painting a car, you follow these lines.
Right.
This edge. but we're not doing it like that.
Going optical.
See, so this blue tape is blue paint right through there.
Yeah.
So the blue here, if this is white, what does this do? Come around?
Yeah. Or maybe even go.
See, this is exactly why. This is nothing I would have ever thought of. Bam, all of a sudden he starts to fire on all cylinders. He's like, break the paint line across the dashboard like that and look at the effect you get. I'm like, exactly, right. That's why you're here. To break it across the top and look at that weird
There's
shape.
another blue spear.
Right, so this is blue.
Yep, blue.
Right.
Then there's a spear of blue going through it.
Right. Johnny's idea about the lines on the hood really complements the little spear thing I did on the side. So I'm gonna go back, tighten all the lines up, and then, then it's ready to spray. But feeling really confident that our collaboration is gonna pan out.
What about doing white on the undersides of the kick-ups? Remember the old mud flaps?
Right.
Where it was like Yosemite Sam and the back off. We do that underneath, but not mud flaps.
Right, on the fenders.
On the fenders.
Yes, 100%. So blue, white,
Right.
and then I'll get some kind of cool font.
Yeah.
This is exactly what the car needed. That one thing where you're walking around, you're already blown away, and then you're like, it's the punchline at the end of the story. I'm doing that 100%. Right, and then the exhaust is like the guns.
Yeah.
And we'll put a mustache on the engine. It'll be perfect.
He's like, yeah, why not? Why wouldn't we do that? In fact, let's make it as big as we can. I can't wait. That's like now like one of my most favorite parts we're gonna do to the car. Is that silly back off thing on the back. These damn vomits, back off. Giggle.
Before Johnny leaves, I want to get this car basically where every design element is nailed. There's one last thing I want to show you, and that's the interior.
Okay.
I started making a couple panels out of this masonite,
Right.
but the missing link is that center console. See, now that it's not in the car, you really see that there's two separate pieces.
Yeah, okay.
So what I want to do is, just like your drawing, I want to show two separate pods. I want that wall to continue right up to the back. That way, the driver and the passenger are never rubbing elbows.
Okay. Ian's already got a really cool aesthetic inside the interior of the car, which is this really cool grab handle thing that kind of flows through the center of the car. And I'm like, let's just riff off that piece.
I noticed an element of Johnny's drawing that showed this center console aspect between the driver and passenger seats. I set up the dashboard for that, in that the Sterling had that unit that came down into the shifter area. I just wanted to see what Johnny was thinking about how this wall between the two people is going to present itself. I have my ideas, but I'm always interested in what he's going to bring to it. Here's the board, draw out what you're thinking, let's do it.
It's totally the shape I was thinking.
I was reading your mind. I love it. Let's see how it looks. Dude, you're a freaking genius, man. That is the eye of an artist.
Like, please tell me he's not gonna do that. I love all of Ian's over-the-top ideas, and I was like, I hope he's not serious about this one. Yeah, I don't think so.
You always got to keep him guessing. He might have thought that I was serious about doing that, but that's why I left his line in place. All right, let's try the
If that's your
conservative.
vision, I'm with it. If that's your vision.
Let's try the conservative look. Oh, I see what you did there. Look at that. Whoosh. You got an eye for this, man. Yeah, so this tube will only grow out of the center console
Right.
right here, and that's hidden. You trace that, and I'll make another one. This always looks so much easier on TV. In the end, I want these upholstered, so once again, this is not only a mock-up, but it's the structure that will be upholstered. All right. That was the thing, I just wanted to have the look that we both agreed on.
No, that's gonna work.
Yeah, I want to show you one thing. You know those fiberglass seats we saw at the swap meet?
Yeah.
Well, I actually found a pair this morning. These are cool because they're vintage. You don't really see them with the white seat covers. These seats are the classic low-back dune buggy seats. We're going with a blue base coat. These had blue pinstripes sewn in them, so this will be the theme for the interior. And, I got a bunch of white vinyl, so I'm just gonna do it very simple, white vinyl interior. Now it really fills in that big cavity, you know? So see the center
Oh, dude, that's
console, as
perfect.
bulky as it looks, it's really not
No,
bulky.
that's just right. Those fit just right in there too, right at the lips.
And you have the pod of the dashboard, and then the seat back, and then the little flipper fin on the roof. The driver has his controls and whatnot. The passenger's separated by a wall, and he's the DJ. He's got the stereo, and he's in his own chair. The good news is all of that crazy, hard, dirty work is behind us, and now it's on to the details.
Yeah, so we step back, we look at the finished project, all the ideas that we've come together. Again, it's, you know, it's the next step of the mock-up. We've already mocked up once, now we're doing the final mock-up, it appears. It appears. You know, whatever Ian's gonna do while I'm not here, it's gonna be next level coolness. So I wish I could imagine what it's gonna be like, but it's Ian Russell, you never know.
It's come a long way, baby. Now all that's left to do is everything.
I can't wait to see it done.
It's happening. Really appreciate Johnny being here. He always brings in a fresh element to the design. There's still a ton of work to do, but we've crossed the threshold. So we came in, we nailed the key elements we needed. All I could say is by the time this thing is finalized, there's a few more awesome surprises coming.